Hello everyone out in Cable Land. My name is Doug Ulwick. I'm here with the Abington Celebrates Ad Hoc Committee today to talk about some upcoming events. And what particularly brings us here today is that this year we're very excited that we're going to be bringing back to Abington a fireworks celebration, something that's been talked about for a long time, but it's actually going to happen on Saturday, June 9th, if I have my date correctly. Correct. Very good. But let me first start by introducing who is at the table with me here. We have Christy Coombs, we have Nancy Reed, myself, Doug Ulwick, we also have Michelle Christian, we have Ken Coyle, and we have Bob Manning. And we are all active members of the committee. The committee is set up to, currently offering 3 events per year that are free to the public, and they're celebrations throughout the town. The first one happens the second weekend in June, and that's Flag Day, Founders Day. Abington was actually founded on June 10th of 1712. And so we recognize that, and that's the one we're going to be talking primarily about tonight. And then the weekend after Columbus Day, we celebrate Oktoberfest. And we end up the year with the second Saturday in December celebrating Christmas at Island Grove, where we light the town Christmas tree and make quite a big deal about that. That's turned out to be quite successful. But again, the focus of this evening is Flag Day, Founders Day, and that is happening this year starting on Friday night, June 8th, and running through Sunday morning, June 10th. And I think probably the best way to approach this is kind of just do a chronological what's happening and when it's happening. And for maybe it's our 3rd year, Nancy's going to talk a little bit about this. The United Church of Christ will be doing a kick-off cookout. Try to say that 3 times fast. But anyway, Nancy, that's from 5 to 8, is that correct?
That's right.
And what's going on?
All right, so after a hard day's work on a Friday, you should just come right up to the United Church, right at the top of the hill on Bedford Street, and there'll be hamburgers and hot dogs being cooked outside, and then you can go inside and have a nice leisurely meal, and there'll be like homemade salads, and then there'll also be baked goods you can purchase to take home or to eat for dessert. I
want the desserts. That's it. You know me.
Yep. And last year we made quite a few out of the cookbook, which Michelle is going to be talking about later. But they'll also have raffles, and what's a lot of fun for most people is we have music in motion. Steve Santola is a wonderful DJ, and he has a bubble machine for the kids, and they do games, and it's a really good time for everybody, not just the kids, but they really enjoy it. Last year, the church started a thrift shop, and it's a win-win situation because it helps a lot of people as well as brings in some money so that the church can do more things for the community. Then also, you can have a nice historical overview of the town or things revolving around the church that happened in the town. Because for those of you that don't already know, the town of Abington couldn't be founded unless there was a church with a certified minister. And the United Church of Christ is the result from over the years. And so that's why the kickoff cookout is going to be held at the church, and it will start all the festivities for the afternoon or evening, basically. It will get over at 8 o'clock, and so you'll still have time to do some other things and get ready for all the events on Saturday.
of which there are many. Did you mention raffles? I know they've done that in the past.
Yes, they always have really awesome raffles too. So, you know, for a couple of bucks, you might win something that's worth $50 or more. So it's worth the trip.
they really do pull together some nice raffle offerings.
Yeah.
And I know the church historian, Bob Valancourt, is working hard on a display about the church history. And we actually have something that we're going to introduce this year regarding the church history. We've been notified by the Congregational Library in Boston that they've come across a chair from the very first minister of the church, Sam Brown. and they're going to be donating it back into the town. I believe it's going to the Historical Society. The church has a couple of his chairs, and we're planning on bringing them together for the first time that night. So that should be interesting. We don't know what condition this chair is in. I've been told it's not good condition, so I'm hoping it's more than just a pile of sticks. But we will find out and have that on display at the same time. So that's our Friday event.
Right, and I should also mention
Please.
that they're really not charging for the food, but they would welcome like a $5 donation or something.
Sure,
so.
something to.
It's a great,
Yeah.
it's a great kids, family-friendly event too. And I want to mention that our camera person is pulling double duty, and she's going to be doing face painting that day.
Oh wow!
So
okay.
there's a lot, but
Hidden
there's
talents.
there's a lot of kids there, and the DJ really caters to the kids. So
Yeah.
please, it's a family-friendly event, as all our events are.
Yeah, that one. I think the DJ really brings that one home.
Absolutely.
With that, he appeals to the younger group, so that's kind of cool. Saturday is our really jam-packed day when we're doing tons of stuff. Starting the day off with our first Founders Day 5K. How come all these things are tongue twisters, it seems?
I know.
Kickoff Cookout and Founders Day 5K. Christy, can you tell us more about that? You are our race expert anyway because of the Coombs Road Race every year, so we're thrilled that you're jumping in to help out with this.
Yeah, we had a little trial run, pardon the pun.
I like it. I'll buy it.
Last year we had, I don't know, about 30 runners show up. And so we decided to do it a little more formally this year with timing by Colonial Road Runners. And we have registration on RaceWire. So that's going to take place at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. Kids Fun Run will precede it, and the Kids Fun Run is going to be free. So that's for all the little kids. We'll determine the length of that race later. But the race is open to people of all ages. We're going to have medals for the top 3 winners in each age category. There'll be numerous age categories. And the fees are going to be $25 for adults, $15 for students, and $5 for kids under 12. And all the details for that will be on, you go to racewire.com and you put in the Founders Day 5K for Abington Celebrates, and all the information will be there, and you can sign up right there online. And so that's going to begin and end at the Beaverbrook Elementary School. And I'd like to acknowledge a few of our committee members that aren't here. Andy Burbine is helping out with it. And so we will be there. We'll be providing free water and some fruit to give you a little bit of energy to run. So we encourage everybody to pre-register. We'll be taking registrations that morning as well. But it's going to be a fun morning, and good way to start your weekend with a little exercise and work off all the yummy food that you had Friday night, and to get ready for all the food that you're going to eat at the fireworks Saturday night.
I think we'll have to offer more carbs or something at the church to get ready for that race.
Yeah.
I believe we're using the same route we did last year. It's a really neat route to come up from the school onto Washington Street and head north to Adam Street, and then around the corner and pull through the cemetery, exiting on Central Street near the Town Highway Barn, running towards St. Bridget's, and then turning onto Park Ave, and then through Island Grove. And there's typically a water station right at the entrance to Island Grove. I know the Boy Scouts helped us out running that last year. And I got some great pictures last year of runners coming under Memorial Arch and across the bridge. And then rather than go straight down Wilson Place, they take a quick left on Lake Street and then on Chapel Street, frankly, just to make it 5K. And then continue back on Washington Street to the point of beginning. It's kind of a scenic way to see Abington while you're running. I think it's something that Andy came up with initially for the route, and I really like it. So,
we've done. There've been a few road races that have run that route.
do it.
The Abington Police 5K used to run a similar route.
Does the Vasilian do that one too?
The Danny Vasilian road race runs a similar route, and people seem to really like it. They like the run, the scenic run through the woods and through the cemetery
and everything.
So. It's going to be a fun run, and you get to win a cool medal if you're one of the top 3 finishers.
Are we going to designate our own Heartbreak Hill here? Or?
Yeah. For me, it's all a Heartbreak Hill.
It would be for me too.
But so we hope everybody will come out, and if you don't want to run, you can walk it.
Sure. I've actually had questions come in, can you do it with strollers and that
Yeah,
sort of
absolutely.
thing?
The steps at Island Grove are a little difficult, though.
You need a hand for those, yeah.
Yeah. So.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, and right on the heels of that, we're having, for the second year in a row, the Kids Fishing Derby. And we have Bob Manning to tell us more about that. I'll share a personal story. He did it for us last year, and at the end of the day, I went over to congratulate him and say, what a great job. And he said, you got me for the next 5 years. So now it's on tape. So now I'm going to hold it.
He said it, not me.
Yeah. So what can you tell us about the event? You learned a lot from it last year, but it was a big success last year.
I have to agree. I like to pat myself in the back, and I do that eagerly. We had a great time last year. For the first time, I just want to recycle back a little bit. The Abington Police Department used to do this. Kind of faded away, and when you guys approached me last year, I'm not the most avid fisherman, but I fish probably 40 times a year, so I guess I'm qualified.
More avid than I am.
So I guess I'm qualified to do that. And I'm eager. I have spent a lot of time with the youth in this town, especially with Boy Scouts and Little League soccer. I'm encouraging the children of the town to come out and fish because it's a great opportunity for a mother or a father and a child or children to come together and do something together for that day. And we encourage and actually want every child to have a parent with them to make sure that kind of bonding thing goes on while you're doing this fun thing called fishing. We actually had a very successful fishing catch last year. Every child was able to catch at least one, if not several. And I think the same pickerel was caught by 43 people at different times. He was a very hungry fish. He ate all the worms. I'll tell you right now, there was a lot of that. So it was a great time. It's a great opportunity. Like I said, it's open to children ages 6 to 14, but any child can come down and fish. I'm not going to stop anyone from fishing. There will be prizes awarded in each age group for the longest fish caught. We don't wait, we don't measure anything else, but for the longest fish caught, we'll have prizes. Each participant must have an adult with them, as I said, and if parents want to fish with their children, they're welcome to come. Just make sure you have your fishing license. We are going to be serving hot dogs around noontime. We're going to have water available for the children all during the process. I am looking, or I would ask for anybody who has some fishing experience to come down and help out and volunteer to help the children set up their equipment and then help us measure the fish for the children. There's going to be a registration board. They're going to come over and register, get there and put their name down, and then we're going to check off all the fish they catch that day. As I said, last year we had about 27 registered children. I'd like to see about 40 this year. I'd like to get it up a little more if at all possible. I've heard a lot of positive comments, especially during the St. Patrick's Day parade this year. I had a number of mothers come up and say, we can't wait for your fishing derby. So come on out and fish. It's really important. I just want to do a quick shout out to this year's sponsors, and it starts with Daddy McLaurin's owner, Dennis McDonald and Jack Hilton. They stepped up big time. They arranged to help getting Bass Pro Shops to help us out this year.
They're right here in Abington too, with Daddy.
Jack's and Dennis's business is right out of Abington, Massachusetts. So it's great that a local supporter has stepped up, and they couldn't wait last year. They came last year to fish and couldn't wait to participate this year. So I really want to say thank you to them. They stepped up right away, like that day at the end of the fishing tournament, said we'll be here next year for you, Bob. So I was very pleased with that. Tom's Bait and Tackle Shop, Martin's Restaurant's owner, Fred Villa, has been the most generous person I know for many years for multiple things that I volunteer to do. He's always there to help me out. Abington's Ice House is being very good to us. The Abington Lion Club, of course, is our cooks for our hot dogs. They're very kind. Thanks to Kenny and all the support from the Lions Club. I always appreciate that. And of course, I'll be there to help mess it up and try to make sure everything doesn't go well. So that's not true. But I just want to say one thing. If you're a child over the age of 15, Massachusetts law requires you to have a fishing license. The good news is in Walmart in Abington, you can get your fishing license that day if you want to, if you need to. Or you can go online. I just want to give that a quick shout out at www.mass.wildlifelicense.com. That's www.mass.wildlifelicense.com. So I can only say, as I encourage everyone to come on down that day, it's a great opportunity. Registration starts at 9:30. The official contest goes off at 10. We finish at 1 o'clock. Sometime around noon, we'll have some food, hot food for everyone to eat. There's going to be water served all day long with if the volunteers show up and the children show up, we're going to have a great day, and I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be great. Now, you're at the same location you were last time, on Central Street, across from the Highway Barn.
That's correct. We are going to be
And
on
the
Central Street.
parking would be, what, the police station and the Highway Barn?
We
or
use
where?
the Highway Barn, most of the parking right
Okay.
next to the ball courts, or the police station. We will have auxiliary police left over from the road race.
You absolutely will.
I just want to again reach out and thank John Stone for his staff and for Dave Majewski and his staff. They do a great job supporting us. I never felt better about having more security than ever for the children who are running up and down the street and not have to turn my back and worry about it like I normally would. So big shout out to both of those people for all the support they give us.
Actually, the town services that help us out are just amazing, right across the boards.
And I'm just so grateful that in the town of Abington we have that type of cooperation amongst our municipality.
I think they get excited about it the same way we do, which is nice to see.
It is always great, and it's a great event. It's a great weekend to encourage Abingtonites to come out and do Abington things with Abington people.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're encouraging everyone to do.
Yes, well, all of our activities head in that direction, so it's cool. And after that, an all-day event, actually it starts even a little bit the night before. We're once again welcoming back our Civil War reenactors who will be camping out in Island Grove and doing reenactment skirmishes and demonstrations for kids and showing crafts from that time. And also the Boy Scouts are joining them this year. They did last year as well, and they'll be camping out. And I heard maybe some of the Cub Scouts, they need to do an overnight event, and they might be staying as well. So the Grove will be very full of activities all day long, and leading right up to the fireworks that night. Something I kind of want to stress, although as we'll talk about, the fireworks are going on, launched behind Beaverbrook Elementary and seen from Memorial Field. There's a second viewing location, and that is from the Island Grove Bridge. So if you wanted to be in the Grove and experience the Civil War reenactors, and they've got entertainment coming in, Shades of Grey will be singing. And there'll be a candlelight tour of the encampment. So you can do that and then see the fireworks from the bridge at that point too. So it's two different experiences, either 1864 fireworks or 2018 fireworks. So anyway, but that's obviously leading us into talking about fireworks. This is something we've really been looking forward to do and wanting to bring back to Abington for a long time. We had a long tradition of doing fireworks on the night before the 4th. And that started in, I believe, 1976 and went up to 2006. Just 1 year hiatus in between, probably 2005, that it didn't happen. Initially, it was started by the Park and Rec Committee, and then eventually a private group came in called the Night Before the 4th Committee. They were no longer able to continue after 2006. So actually the only other time between then and now that we've had fireworks was for the tricentennial celebration in 2012. We did not choose, and I was on the committee at the time, we did not choose to do the fireworks at the night before the 4th, but instead to reflect, again, the founding of the town of Abington on June 10th. And so it was the first move away from the 3rd of July fireworks. And we discovered a few things. We discovered, first of all, they were cheaper to not be doing them when everyone else wanted to do them at 4th of July. And we also discovered you get a rain date, which you can't get if you're doing it at 4th of July because they're booked. They can't substitute in a last-minute date for that. And we began to figure out how we're going to do this. You know, we weren't going to turn to the town taxpayers to fund fireworks. That just seemed irresponsible. So it became important to figure out how to raise money. The first effort for that actually was something Michelle did, and this was a little over a year ago with the cookbook effort.
Yes.
Could you speak to that a bit?
Sure. Well, after our first year of events, we knew where we wanted to do fireworks. It was always in the back of our mind. We said, okay, we got to raise some money. We got to do something big to really kick it off and have a base. So we came up with the cookbook. I'm sure everybody has one now.
No, they don't,
right?
so
Maybe?
they need to know where to buy one.
If you don't have one, they're still on sale at Trukey's and Town Hall. But it was an idea that included everybody in the town. It was kind of an all-inclusive thing, which was really good. That's what Abington Celebrates is about.
Right.
And we've earned so far about $6,000 off the cookbooks, and it includes groups, recipes from groups in town, businesses, individuals, and it was just something perfect for us that gave us a nice base for everything.
It did. I mean, it was our first larger format fundraiser. Another thing that you were very involved with, I know, was we also participated at Barrett's Haunted House.
Yes.
Haunted Mansion.
Yep, we were chosen this past year, and believe it or not, we were chosen again.
Already?
Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah, we were that scary.
We were that scary.
We were that scary. So,
There's a thought.
yeah, so they welcomed us back, and it's a really fun night. We earned $1,500 for that night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So between all the fundraising that we did on our own, we had shy of probably $10,000 in the account.
We were pretty close,
but
yeah.
we began to shop for fireworks, and I had a figure in my head of between $10,000 and $15,000 worth, which is modest, but it's a decent showing. The other thing that I became aware of over the course of the winter, in addition to having a home in Abington, I also have one in Oak Bluffs on Martha's Vineyard, and every year they do this most amazing fireworks display, and I had a chance to chat with one of the organizers of it. It's actually run through the Firemen's Association, not the fire department, and asked, well, how do you do this? How do you raise the money, and how do you get the town police departments and fire departments and everything to participate? And I learned a lot. It was a good lesson. But one of the most important things I learned was that they turn to the businesses in town, and they look for commitments from the businesses to chip in and make a 3-year commitment to do that, so that they're not out every year trying to start from scratch and raise funds. So Michelle, actually you made an initial contact in terms of that scheme of things, and that was with Phil Hamrick.
That was with Phil, yes, at Timberlanes.
Okay, and he was more than generous.
Oh, yes, first he signed on for $1,000
Per
a
year.
year
Yeah,
for 3
for
years.
3 years.
And then surprised us with another $3,000 for this year. So it was $4,000 right up front.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. That's exciting. I mean, so suddenly, in order to make a commitment to hire one of the fireworks companies, and Jan Prowl, one of our members who couldn't be here today, did the bulk of the work in contacting the different companies. And we found the best deal was through Atlas Pyrotechnics of Jaffrey, New Hampshire. And once we knew we had, and we set a deadline for ourselves, and once we knew we had at least 10,000, I think by that time we had maybe 13 or 14,000 in our account, we turned to the fireworks company and said, prepare a contract and submit it to the town manager for review. And they've done that, and actually as we're taping this on a Wednesday, tomorrow there's a meeting over at Beaverbrook to bring the fireworks company and the fire chief and the police chief and the schools and everyone together to do a walkthrough and finalize the details about how this is all going to come off. But we're very excited that it's coming off. Also, we've had some wonderful donations. In addition to Phil's, another early contributor, we had reached out to the Rotary, and they had, I had a chance to go and chat with them at one of their regular meetings. And when I walked in the door, they had already discussed it, and they already discussed a donation, and I made my presentation, and on the spot they doubled their donation. How can you argue with that? That was quite an early vote of confidence that happened. And who else have we had for donors?
South Shore Bank.
South Shore Bank came in. Dr. From the concert committee,
McDonald.
Peter McDonald came in with a sizable donation for us as well. I'm going to share the funny
The
thing
depot,
that happened.
too?
Yeah, that's the one I want to
sorry.
share.
Sorry.
We set up to offer our T-shirts on Election Day for a $20 minimum donation would get you a T-shirt.
These awesome T-shirts.
Awesome
Awesome
T-shirts.
T-shirts.
Do you want to turn around and show us the? No, you can't. You're mic'd.
No, I
but
can't, but-
okay, the back is more important than the front. But anyway, we were setting them up, and I was sitting at a table, and a woman came up and handed me a slip of paper and mumbled something and walked away. And it was it was a bank deposit ticket. I thought, what the heck? And I just held on to it, but I have no idea why this woman handed me a bank deposit ticket. And the next day I got a message on Facebook saying, what on earth did I give you? The check that I had for you is in my wallet. What on earth did I give you? And it ended up, and I don't want to embarrass her, but it was a cute story, so let's just take it in that context. It was from the depot, and that was a check for $1,000. Wow. So it was very, very generous of them to do that. And just before we came here today, and I think Justin already had up the image, we stopped in at the Station 1 for the Abington Fire Department, and they handed us a check. There it is. I see it back up on screen. They handed us a check for $500, but it's a 3-year commitment. And honestly, that is something we've had difficulty getting. People are giving us money, and we're grateful for the money that's coming in. But we really want it to be a sustained effort so that we don't have to start from scratch every year. So the people who make the commitment, and I think part of it, just frankly speaking, is we have to do it first. We have to inspire the confidence. And I feel the atmosphere is changing now that we're doing it. We have the date, we're going to follow through, we're going to do it. And I think the support will grow from there. So
that was from the Firefighters Union too.
Yes,
just want to
make
that clear.
Thank you. Thank you. That was from the
no taxpayers' money.
No, not at all. Absolutely not. Now, the other thing that Abington did in 2012 that went over very well was we opened up Memorial Field to different civic organizations and different groups who might want to participate through offering games, offering food, and whatever. And it was such a success that the committee turned to me and said, we need to do it. And I reminded them that we're only a group of 6 or 8 people, and that's a lot of work. But I was pleased when Ken stepped forward and said, I will be the contact person, I will organize this. So if you haven't talked to him yet about coming in and offering food, offering games, offering whatever, you should. And Ken, do you want to talk about
I didn't really step forward. Everyone else around me
Step
stepped back.
back. Same effect.
He didn't see that,
Same effect. It had the same end result. It was something like from the Three Stooges. Yeah, you're right. But
the people that are new to town don't realize the night before the 4th that the field was full of so many activities and long-time traditions where the Lions Club every year would sell strawberry shortcake. Mm-hmm. And different groups would have different things, and it became a tradition and kind of a meeting place. So I think we're going to open up the field about 5 o'clock, mm-hmm. and we're planning on have all kinds of activities to keep people busy up till when the fireworks start. And as you said, I'm going to be the liaison. So if any group in town, a youth group or a church group, or before we ask businesses to come, I'd like to try to get the groups that need awareness or want to make some funds, raise some money to come and approach our committee. And I'm trying hard to avoid duplication. So I'm just going to name off a few groups, mm-hmm. and some of the things that we've already have planned. Actually tonight, the Coombs Foundation is going to do pizza and candy. It's a joint effort between the Legion and the United Church of Christ is going to do hamburgers and hot dogs up at the top of the hill. And they actually, if you're old enough, we were approved for a 1-day liquor license outside. So
nice.
Up in it's going to be cordoned off, so you have to show your ID to get in there, not to get the burgers and hot dogs, but if you wanted to get a beer up there. What else do we have? We have
Strawberry shortcake.
Strawberry shortcake, yes, absolutely. The Abington Lions Club are going to get back to the strawberry shortcake, which is always, the line is very long for that. That's a great thing. And we also have glow sticks being sold by a group, and St. Bridget's approached me, and they're going to do glitter tattoos. So, and there's other activities which I'm sure Christy will talk about. But if anything else is fair game. So there's a nominal fee. I believe it was $50 just to reserve your spot. After that, there's no cost. I know in the past, the night before the 4th, a portion of the proceeds was asked to go back to that, but we're not going to do that.
No,
so
we're not there.
I think it's $50 for food and $25 for other groups that other than food. But if you are a town organization, I've reached out to the boosters. I haven't heard back from them yet, but please don't hesitate to call me. Even the senior class or the junior class, if they have an idea, if they want to sell something, whether it be a food item, popcorn, peanuts, anything like that, please reach out to us on Facebook or myself personally. My email is my last name Coyle, C-O-Y-L-E 1786 @AOL.com. Don't hesitate to contact me.
Absolutely. Okay. That's great. And I kind of want to stress that all of the events that Abington Celebrates does are free. When we invite vendors in like that, or organizations in like that, they are welcome to charge for whatever it is they're selling or doing. But admission to the event, people ask, what does it cost to get into the fireworks? It costs nothing to get into the fireworks. It's free. So we will be restricting some areas for safety, for parking, for whatever, but please come and please enjoy the whole thing. And Christy, we talked a little more. You had mentioned there was a coalition of some charity groups in town who were going to be
Right.
getting together to offer some stuff. Could you elaborate on that?
Right. Well, when we were talking about opening the doors, the gates at 5 o'clock and the fireworks going off about 9:30, figured we have to have something for the kids to do to keep them busy for a 4-hour period. So the same 3 organizations that bring to you the fun activities in front of the Furlio School of Oktoberfest will be bringing some kids' activities. The Sergeant Daniel Vasilian Memorial Fund, the Jeremy Russell Memorial Fund, and the Jeff Coombs Memorial Foundation will be bringing in some kids' activities like, you know, moonwalks and some games, and we're going to be looking into a rock wall to see if we can get that for a climbing wall.
Nice.
And yeah, so we'll be providing those. Most of them will be free. If we get a rock wall, there'll be a charge for that. But for the most part, you know, we want everybody to come and have a good time without the parents having to dip in their wallets all night long.
Right.
So whatever the charge is going to be very reasonable, and it's another way for our 3 foundations, because we rely so much on the public always having our hand out to help us raise money for what we do. This is another way for us to give back to the community and you know, have a presence there and just sit back and watch everybody have a great time.
And they will.
Yeah.
And I stress, I think a lot of people, when they think about this event, have visions of the night before the 4th. We don't. We actually don't. There's no carnival per se. We're not expecting hordes and hordes of people. This is not the 4th of July. We're really aiming for much more of a hometown event and a hometown feel for this, a little more intimate surroundings among people you know. And that doesn't mean people from out of town can't show up. We're not checking IDs at the door again. But it really, we're stressing it as a hometown event. And I think all of us are entering into it with that attitude. So plan on showing up and having a good family time. I think that's really what it comes down to.
Well,
Nancy.
for me,
Yes, ma'am.
you have to have music.
Oh, thank you. I was going to forget that. Thank you for not.
We weren't
Tell
going to
us.
let you. We weren't going
Thank you.
Well-
Tell us.
We had to scramble because we only made the decision to have the fireworks only a few weeks
And
ago.
everyone's booked, of
And
course.
all the bands are, but Jan Prowl, who helps me, she's my right arm, for the concerts, she also is an active participant in this committee. And we spent 2 hours searching for a band that wasn't already booked. And not that the band isn't a good band, it's just that we were lucky.
Yes.
And so we got a band called Rewind. And one of the members of the band, and I don't know, he may have started it actually, is Joe Murray, who grew up here in town. And the band plays a lot of places, and they're very well known for all the good rock and roll music, classic music that people, middle-aged people and others enjoy. So they will be our band, and we also are asking Steve Santola with Music in Motion,
Oh, the DJ.
the DJ,
Yeah.
and so he also said he would love to be a part of it.
Great.
So he'll be doing the music
We'll be
for
keeping
like
him busy Friday night at the
from-
church and then
Right.
Saturday night at the field.
from 5 to 7,
Nice.
and then it's from 7 to 9 the band will play. And we're still working out a few of the logistics, but I'm sure it'll work out fine. And then the Shades of Grey that's going to be playing earlier at Island Grove
Right.
for the encampment.
That's a Civil War group, yeah.
They are so delightful, and the music they play around the campfire is like what might have happened during the Civil War days, and that's really a nice take too. So there's plenty of music, and it's thanks to the Abington Summer Concerts
Yes,
Committee
very much so.
and to all the people that have donated to make it possible for us to do it. So I
Very-
have to put
very-
in, you can't have a thing like that without music.
There you go. I don't disagree. I'm a musician. How can I? But that's great. And Shades of Grey actually is a group that assembles from all over New England to do these Civil War things, and they've proclaimed that as long as we're doing Abington, they will be in Abington. They enjoy being here, they enjoy the crowd, and as Judy O'Brien says, and we feed them. So that seems to be a popular aspect of it as well. So it's going to be an amazing night, and we know that already because of who's making it happen and because of the participation we've seen. I haven't seen this much excitement around town about an event like this in a very long time.
All positive too.
It is all positive, and it's delightful. So we're buoyed by that ourselves, and it pushes us on to get it done and work harder at it. But we're still looking for funds. I really have to stress that, and we're looking, when possible, for a 3-year commitment in funds. So we'll talk again in 3 years, but for now we just want it to be sustaining, and I'm confident it will be. So that's kind of a cool thing.
And we'll probably be collecting, have some buckets on the way out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And in.
And yeah.
There'll be an opportunity to show your appreciation on the spot by opening your wallet and contributing to make sure it happens again.
And we will make sure it happens again.
And it will happen again, absolutely. And as much as we're reliant upon the businesses to contribute, we have been getting substantial funds in also from individual donations, and we greatly appreciate it and welcome it and encourage it. Once Saturday night is over, we're not done. Sunday morning, we're back at Island Grove. And something we did last year that proved to be very successful, Sunday is also Firefighters Memorial Sunday. And up until now, they did a brief ceremony up at Station 1 on Route 18. And last year, we encouraged them to join us at Island Grove at the flagpole out on the point, and they did so, and it was a very moving ceremony. It was perfect. It was a perfect day. It was a perfect place, a perfect time, and they're doing it again. And they enjoy it. They found it significant for them as well last year and thought it was an improvement over what they used to do. So they're coming back to the Grove, and their chaplain, Christy Coburn, is going to be heading up those ceremonies, and pretty much immediately afterwards we'll be doing an ecumenical church service at the point in the Grove as well, right at the Abolitionist Stone. And we have in the past invited other church groups to join. That may happen this year. I've heard of one other church that wants to participate in that. And it's kind of a nice summation to the entire weekend. It's kind of a time of reflection on the history of the town and of the celebrations and of the people of the town. And I think nicely puts a cap on all that we do for that weekend. And then we look forward to Flag Day a few days later. So this is the biggest event we put on because of the fireworks. And I think it's really going to be quite memorable. So what haven't I mentioned, folks? As
we may be adding, but we may the full calendar's not out, so that we may be adding some more activities too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I didn't mention. We were requested. Actually, the Historical Society was requested. Would we offer a walking tour, historical walking tour of Island Grove on Saturday afternoon? And the answer is yes. And Eileen Walls, a retired teacher here in town, also very active with the Historical Society and the Dyer Memorial Library, has offered to do that. I don't know how many tours, I don't know what time we're starting yet, but it's in the works, and it's something that was requested of us, and it's a very historic site. I mean, I don't think most people don't know that Island Grove actually contained a cemetery. We'll throw that one out there, but it's been integral with the whole history of the town, so it's kind of a fun aspect of doing the history and bringing that back in. But yeah, as Ken said, we're still adding to the agenda for the days. So stay tuned.
Yeah. Facebook site.
Facebook, yes. We do a lot on Facebook. You probably know that. But anyway, I think that's what I had to say tonight. And
I think we could also
yes.
add that we're always looking for helping hands.
Oh, please.
Oh, yes.
If anybody would like to help this very small committee and join us for the 3 activities that we do each year.
We'll give you a free T-shirt.
We
TV.
typically meet Tuesday evenings at the Dyer Memorial Library, but just shoot us an email and we can, through Facebook or whatever, we can let you know where our next meeting is. And anyone's welcome to attend and join in with their ideas and their inspirations and their help. So I think that's it. I think we're going to say goodbye for now and look forward to seeing you, starting with the Kick-Off Cookout, I rehearsed that, on at the United Church of Christ on Friday, June 8th. Okay. And then on Saturday, starting out with the 5K, Founders Day 5K, followed by the Fishing Derby, followed by the events in Island Grove with the Civil War encampment, followed by the events on the field leading up to the fireworks on Saturday. And then on Sunday, the Firemen's Memorial Service, followed by the church service at Island Grove. So that's a pretty full agenda for that weekend. And for us, it's the perfect way to kick off summer as well as kick off everything else. So we thank you for your attention here, and we look forward to seeing you. And with that, we'll say good night or good afternoon, or whenever you're watching this. I guess we have to modify that. You can be watching this at any time of day. But we thank you for your attention and your interest, and we hope to see you.
You gonna sing?
No. Are you?
No.
Okay.